Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here. Hello, guys. It's so good to see you all. I've missed doing these. It feels like an eternity to me, guys. But welcome to Snowflake Viewpoint, episode 90, where we cover mainly UK news, but we might draft a little bit out of it today. Got all sorts of bits that we're covering today, guys. But I have missed you guys. It has been more than a week since I've done a live stream. But let's just get the formalities out of the way. This is episode 90 of the Snowflake Viewpoint. The date and time of this is the 17th of February 2025 at 8 p.m. UK time. We are dual streaming live on youtube.com/Reganelite and on twitch.tv/Reganelite1. Formalities out the way. First and foremost, Alistair Keir, thank you so much for the 5 gifting memberships. That is very much appreciated. Thank you for all your support. I really do appreciate it. Weed Bird was given a gifted membership. Witchy Goft, Mithril, Caffel, and DJ Marty Moo were all gifted memberships there. Well, very, very generous of you today. I will try to mute when I cough, guys, because please be aware I'm not 100%, as I have stressed. But I'm not going to read through every single article into fine-line details like I normally do, guys, because it's just not ideal for my voice. But what we will do, we will look at the headlines. We will look into a bit of it. I've got a couple of videos to go along with it to help us as well, to analyse things as well. And I think that will be the format we'll try to do today. I do have some funny videos to go along with what we're covering as well, guys. Let's see who else is here in the chat, just for reference. MadMonk33, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. Mr. E, good to see you, Mr. E. Hope you're doing well as well. Good to see you there. Jao is here. Good to see you, Jao. Hope you're doing well. Guys, do check out Jao's YouTube channel as well. He's got his own YouTube channel as well. Definitely worth checking out as well. Good morning, Steve McMahon, who's just popped in there. Good to see you there. Hope you're doing well, my friend, over in New Zealand. I just want to remind people as though coming in, I'm not 100%, but I will try. I've got to try and be a little bit careful with the voice, obviously. Genie Bottle, good to see you there. Hope you're doing well as well. So just before we get started, I'll just run a couple of things with you guys. I'm not going to do any videos at the moment because they do really. I want to see at the moment. I want to see how this live stream goes. There won't be any videos dropping tomorrow. I may do an additional. I may do a live stream tomorrow. I may not. Depends how this one goes. And I think like the videos that I was doing before I was sick, before I was unwell, guys, they weren't getting any traction. So I may completely change my format of what I do going forward, because I do think live streams are the future for this channel rather than videos. Short videos are still very much are staying, but I'm getting to this point where I might stop doing the long format videos and instead just do live streams. And I may even do like an additional 1 hour live stream at 1 o'clock. From Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and what there will be is like it's going to be like an off-the-cuff sort of live stream, where it won't be a planned one. I'll literally just come on, and we will basically dive into what the stories are going around. Basically, is what it will be. So I think we might do. I'm thinking of doing some kind of format like that instead. I know that not everyone can come to live streams, and that's and all that kind of stuff, but. Like the videos for me, they're not working. They weren't working, and I'm skeptical about bringing them back because of how low the views were for them. But we'll see how that goes, guys. Yeah, health first, of course. Yeah, of course. Like it's ideally, really, I shouldn't really be live streaming. Ideally, because I'm still not 100%. Like my voice is still hurting. And it will hurt as time goes on in this live stream, guys. But let's crack on, yeah. Let's not waste any time. So first and foremost, let's talk about this. Let me make sure I got this right, because it's been a while. I've got mucus in my throat as well, so bear with me. Oh, I hate that stuff. Apologies. So So the first dumbass headline of the day, guys. Kemi Badenoch said, Western civilization will be lost if the Tory party fails. The Conservative leader's pronouns, diversity, politics and climate activism are poisoning speech at right-wing event. Oh, God almighty. Like, this headline is just so ridiculous. I don't know where to begin with this. Like, I'm sorry, like, Western civilization. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I think Western civilization would survive without the Conservative Party. I mean, with the current trajectory where we're going, Western civilization is coming to an end. But I don't think that the Tory Party will be its saviour, if I'm honest there, guys. So Kemi Badenoch has said that our country and all of Western civilization will be lost if efforts to renew the Conservative Party and drive forward right-wing ideas globally fail. Liking her own leadership to Donald Trump's second term, she used a gathering of fellow Conservatives to attack Sir Keir Starmer for taking the knee in the nod to Black Lives Matter, describe pronouns, diversity, politics, and climate activism as a poison. She's just so out of touch with ordinary people. It's insane. It's insane. For me, like, we've been covering a lot of PMQs. I even covered last week's PMQs because I wasn't, I still wasn't fit then. But, like, she was so shit. She was so shit. She's been so shit at Prime Minister's questions. And we know that there have been rumblings behind the scenes about Kemi. You know, people are saying that the Conservatives know she's not Prime Minister material. She's not someone that's going to do well for them. Now, obviously, the question will be is what's going to happen at the local elections. It's the local elections that will really decide the Conservatives. And we're actually going to come to an exclusive poll by Sky News we'll look into as well. But, like, the language and the rhetoric with her, it's just not washing because these lines, this area that she's going for is not washing because she's part of a Conservative Party, a former Conservative government that failed over 14 years. The public don't trust them. The public just simply do not trust them. And they would rather put their faith in reform more than they would in the Conservatives because at least reform don't have that baggage of we've proven that we are liars, we've proven that we are failures. And it's for an extensively long period. I mean, this whole shadow cabinet. Is there anyone in the shadow cabinet that wasn't in the previous Conservative government? Like, in the previous Conservative government over the last 14 years? Like, is there anyone? Like, I'm just trying to think across my mind. I don't think so. And it's just, like, you still are not sorry. You're still not coming over it. And it's just insane to me that they are just completely delusional. I mean, we talk about reform, we talk about Nigel Farage, we talk about Richard Tice, and we will get to Richard Tice because and we talk about them. But this, like, it's the Conservatives and Kemi Badenoch now. It feels like to me they're like this echo chamber where they're literally like shouting in the corner, trying to get your attention. But Kemi doesn't like getting on TV or getting into news outlets or whatnot because she doesn't like interviews and whatnot. It feels like they're shouting in the corner, trying to get your attention, and you're just not interested in what they have to say because they're like, yeah, but you're the party that failed. We're not interested in what you're saying. Please shut up and go away. Like, that's what the Conservatives are. They are the shut up and go away party. That's what they are right now. I mean, that's how it feels to me. Alistair Keir, thank you so much for another 5 gifted memberships. Thank you very much for that. Excuse me. Mute mic, Regan. Mute mic. Gotta remember that. Yeah, you gotta remind me to mute the mic whenever I got a cough coming. Jal, thank you for Jal was gifted a membership. Ange, Tories don't get Taser, Mac Parker, and Bernie Burrows were all gifted memberships, but as the kid, that's 10 gifted memberships today. Thank you so much for them. Dave McGuinness, good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Great live streams today, my friend. Do check out his channel. Someone put a link to his channel. Wonderful, the 2 Davies show. Again, they had today, and as well the paper reviews there. Ben Shaw, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well as well. Richard Grumpy Git, good to see you there as well, who's lurking in the chat, and anybody else who may be lurking as well. But yeah, I don't think we need to read any more into this. I mean, it's pretty much... I mean, I don't know. I'll just have a quick note. I don't think there's anything here we need to add to this story. But yeah, I don't think Western civilization will be lost as the Tories party will fail. I mean, you can try and believe that if you really want to, but no, I just think there's someone just shouting in the corner really at this point. You know, that until they have like the next conservative leader, it really will be, I think, the next conservative leader between whatever happens at the local elections. Now, we expect them to get walloped at the local elections, the Conservatives. Whoever takes that seat has got to be someone that can actually bring them back in for a good fight. At least for a fight, not to win the general election. I mean, they'll say that publicly, but privately they know they won't win. But it's got to be it's got to be a new fresh face. Like, they've got to bring in a new fresh face. If they go with a Robert Jenrick or someone like that, excuse me, in the party, it's not going to wash. See, already I'm hurting my throat, guys. Wait, let me get this right. There we go. Must mute. Remind me, chat. I'm terrible. Must mute. Daily Blase, good to see you there, buddy. Great videos you put out today as well. Do check out Daily Blase's YouTube channel. And H Friday Frolics on every Friday at 5 PM as well, guys. Really good stuff. The next one I got for you guys is from The Guardian as well. So the UK marketplace seller faces second Brexit hit from Trump's US import tariffs. So end of de-minimizing policies for Chinese goods is also expected to hit bigger fashion retailers such as ASOS and Boohoo. I know these two. I think it's Boo. I'm a bit more familiar with Boohoo more than ASOS, but I know that their fashion line they got really cheap clothing from what they do from their websites and whatnot. And obviously that's not going to be ideal for them. I'm not sure calling it a second Brexit is the right term. We know that steel and aluminium is what's been hit right now by Donald Trump, and how we're responding to that. I think I read last week, I think it's the Labour government said they were investing more into the British steel industry as a result of it, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat on that, but we'll have to wait and see on that. Steve McMahon says the next Tory leader will be more moderate. He can't defeat reform by becoming reform. Well, that's the thing. At the moment, those who are still... I don't know whether the moderates can retake the Tory party. I don't think they can. I think there's too many of them that are gone. That's the problem. I mean, if the Tories do want to regain power, that's what they need to do. Didn't reach over in time, sorry. Let's have a quick nose. Many UK-based independent sellers on markets such as eBay and Amazon could suffer a significant hit to US sales from the planned changes to import rules under Donald Trump, with experts comparing the impact to a second Brexit. The new rules mean that all parcels originating or made in China are being sold into the US must pay import duty as much as a 15% on fashion items and an additional 10% tariff. We also expected bigger online clothing retailers. I saw from Boohoo. Yeah, my voice is already going. That's not a good sign, guys. I'm gonna have to keep muting every 5 seconds here. There we go. I think I've cleared up a little bit. Let's just see. I'm not going to read the whole thing as I said to you guys. Businesses will see their margins erode because costs will increase. We may get to a point where the changes make a UK business incompetitive in selling to the US. sell about 300 million clouds of clothing a year to the US. Both already struggling to compete with the rise of Shein and the high street retailers, which have revived after the COVID pandemic. John Stevenson. Sorry, I can't read it all, guys. It's killing my voice. No, nothing really sticks out really there. Excuse me. There will be lots of cross fingers and puzzle faces over the changes in legislation, with retailers potentially opening more US warehousing or longer term to switch source supplies, White added. They closed their US warehouses earlier this year, and ASOS is scheduled to close the facilities there in November. We're also on the cards. Showing reporting investigation in China supplies to South in Vietnam, according to a report by Bloomberg. And it's not clear when the new rules might be implemented as the US tries to put technology and workforce in place to handle the new system. Experts say it could take weeks or months. I wouldn't go as far as to call it a second Brexit, if I'm honest, but I haven't read enough into this, guys. But I thought, because of the term, normally when I see something mention Brexit, it's normally something that I'll have a look at there. But I've left the link in the description. We'll have to keep an eye on that one there. But yeah, so the changes were introduced at the start of the attempt to protect US retailers in competition from the likes of Chinese online marketplaces. They were indefinite pause after the US Customs Service struggled to cope with massive increases in parcel requiring checks last week there. It's more on international trade there. But yeah, obviously we'll have to keep an eye on that one. On that one, but don't really have too much on that one, but I wanted to share that there. Now this one I have a video, so don't worry, I won't need to use too much of my voice on this one, guys. This is from Sky News. So categorically wrong, scientists condemn comments by reform Richard Tice that man-made climate change is garbage. Richard Tice also says scientists who agree with him were not a minority, though his views is contrary to major consensus. I'm just gonna literally put. I'm just literally going to ask Google, because I think Google is more reliable than Richard Tice. Was climate change caused by humans? I asked Google. Yes, human activity are the primary cause of climate changes. This includes burning fossil fuels, clearing forests, and releasing pollutants, greenhouse gas emissions, land use changes, methane emissions. Scientific consensus. Nearly 200 scientific organizations around the world agree that human activity is the cause of climate change. So, instead of agreeing with 200 scientific organizations, we're going to, listen to Richard Tice. Okay. Yeah. That's just, that literally took me, 2 seconds for me to check that. But no, guys, Richard Tice claims he knows what he's doing. I can't get rid of that damn screen. Oh, that's annoying. That stupid advert is in the way. I think, actually, I might be able to get... Where did I save the video on Twitter? I did save the video on Twitter. Give me 1 second. Aha! So here it is. This is the same video clip, so I'll play it here for you guys. Yeah, UK reforms. Richard Tice says absolute garbage to say which human activities are the main cause of climate change. Dear oh dear.
Do you believe in man-made climate change?
Climate change is real, has gone on for millions of years, always will. The arrogant naivety of people who think that you can stop the power of the sun, stop the power of volcanoes.
But talk about man-made climate change.
Hear me out. Yeah. But there's no evidence that man-made CO2 is going to change climate change. Given that it's gone on for millions of years, it will go on for millions of years.
Hold on, sorry, you're saying there's no evidence that man-made climate change is changing CO2?
Well,
is that what you're saying?
So how did climate change happen before man-made CO2?
What is it that the vast majority of experts who believe that human activity has impacted climate change since the Industrial Revolution, what is it?
We just literally Googled that 200 scientific organizations agree that humans are the cause of climate change. What are you going to agree with? Would you rather agree with an artificial intelligence chatbot from Google that is telling you this, or would you believe a proven lying politician like Richard Tice? Answer on a postcard, please.
That you know that they don't.
I've read the International Governmental Panel on Climate Change's report, and it says if you get to net zero tomorrow, it'll make no difference to sea level rise for between 200 years and 1,000 years. In other words, they've not got a clue, and it won't make any difference.
We'll have to ask one angry pagan about that on the sea level rises there. Got a feeling that our OAP will have something different to say on that.
Lied to, we're being misinformed, and we've got the courage to say to people, we've got to stop this nonsense. We all care about the environment, we all care about the countryside. That's why I don't want pylons blighting our countryside. That's why I don't want solar panels on it.
But that's...
Can I just point out as well about the whole pylon situation here? Like, the pylon thing is such a... Oh, God. Now I know that people have been throwing a stick at Adrian Ramsey, the Green MP, over that pylon thing, and like I think if it could be durable, then pylons could be done underground. But apparently it's cheaper to have the pylons put up. So if it's cheaper, then just do it that way. Like, it's not the end of the world. I mean, I've used to live when I was much younger. I remember there were literally pylons going right over my house when I was younger. Did it bother me the slightest? No, at all. Not a single bit.
Same.
In fact, actually, I thought it was pretty cool when I was a kid, because I thought it was cool seeing these long pylons and then seeing this giant monstrosity of metal in the air. But that's just me as a kid. But take it as you will.
The panel that you were talking about, the UN Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, said human activities are the main cause of climate change. Do you agree with that? That's a yes or no question.
No, that's absolute garbage, and I've just...
Yeah, so here you have it. The politician, Richard Tice, Reform MP, is saying that he knows everything, guys. He is God. He is all-knowing. And everyone else is wrong. You're wrong. Your scientific organisations are wrong. The experts are wrong. Richard Tice got made an arse out of himself literally just a couple of hours ago on Twitter when he was trying to have a go at a tax expert about taxes and VAT, which he has no idea what he was doing. I mean, my good God, it's just absolutely ridiculous.
Proven it because the climate changed for millions of years before man-made CO2. They are lying to people, and the Norwegian government's own equivalent of our ONS has recently produced a report along the lines of what I'm saying there's no evidence based on the real data that proves that suggestion.
The overwhelming scientific community.
There's masses of debate
say
on
that the rate of
I can give you a list. I can give you a list of 1,000
climate change since the Industrial Revolution has been vastly exacerbated by human activity. Do you not agree with that?
No, I don't. I can give you a list of 1,000 experts and scientists and...
Then let me be very, very clear. When they say about experts and people going against this is paid scientists, paid think tanks, paid people who are paid a lot of money to state and deny against climate. These are paid people. He's saying there are thousands. That's BS. He's just saying that just to put that on the record. But when you come across these people who are put on, excuse me, as you know, I'm going to be drinking lots of water tonight. When you hear people saying that, you just know that, I'm telling you, they're paid. They're paid lobbyists. They're paid to tell you that climate change is not real. They're paid not directly, but like cross-linked eventually to an oil and gas company. Because that's how it works. That's how it works. They don't get paid directly from the gas company. There's like a, what's it called? Like a company house in between that gets paid through, or another company house, or through another body. There's always a link. What's the term that people use? Follow the money, isn't it? That's always what it's about there. 1,000 experts, mostly named Ivan 1, Ivan 2, Ivan 3, or Stephen 1584, Bot 1645, or something like that. Richard, yeah.
Professors, including...
That is a real minority. Why are they right and not the majority?
It's not a minority. There are loads and loads of scientists. There are loads of scientists who are terrified to speak because they won't get any research funding if they tell it as it is. There's so much money in the...
Again, he has no evidence to base this.
Vested interests who are trying to push this agenda on us. It's got to stop. Only Reform UK is going to stop it. And do you know what? We're leading in the polls. Maybe the British people are starting to realise we're talking the truth. they know they're being lied to.
So NASA, when they say human activities are the primary cause of global warming and climate change, the UN Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, human activities are the main cause of climate change. They've got it wrong.
So President Trump has just been elected with a massive majority.
So you disagree with all of them?
To lead the US, and he adopts our position. Maybe actually the American people, when they've been given a vote, they've realised that people like NASA, part of the establishment, they're wrong, and actually President Trump and we are correct.
So do you think we should trust experts generally?
I think there are experts and there's vested interests, and then there's people who tell the truth. The problem here is that money is driving the vested interests who are making fortunes out of the renewable industry, and it's decent, ordinary people who are being ripped off, paying higher bills, higher cost of living, and we're telling it as it is.
You're talking about the oil and gas industry. No, it's the other way round. It's the other way round. My God. Oh, dear, I care. Okay, I think we've heard enough of that. We've heard enough of that. I'm pretty sure you guys got the point on that. Anyway, got the point on that, to be fair. But let me just see if there's anything more to add. I'll just have a quick nose on the article here. They got a graph here. 1 second. We can have a look at this graph. Global temperatures variation over the last 20-24 years. This is from the Sky News article. Using information derived from tree rings and other proxies here. As carbon dioxide levels, intervention stream levels. So recent rapid warming has coincided with a rapid jump in the greenhouse gases from burning fossil fuels or chopping down forests here. This is from picture from Professor Ed Hawkins there. So doesn't, well, not really too, yeah, it doesn't really, can't really see much more detail on that, if I'm honest there. Let's see if there's anything else to add on that. He blames these for higher energy bills for the deindustrialisation of Britain. No, that's privatisation. We all know that's privatisation. It's all because of privatisation. We know that's the reason. Around 2 in 3 people who vote for reform the ICA think it's important the government cares about climate action, according to research by More in Common. So reform voters do not agree with their position on climate. You do not agree on climate. Number 3, good to see you, everybody. Hope you're doing well. And Leaf Skin, good to see you there. And anybody else lurking in the chat. There is not a single credible scientific organisation in the UK or the world that agrees with him about the causes and consequences of climate change, said Mr. Ward. But scientific consensus on human causing recent climate changes is greater than 99%, according to analysis of more than 3,000 peer-reviewed studies. Yeah, and this is the thing. This kind of stuff, rhetoric here. We know this kind of. We know. And get my words in. We know this kind of stuff is going to be banged around. And they're going to be trying to throw this kind of stuff at us. I don't think we've ever had like someone really trying to go against climate change as much as we've had reform MPs really trying to come against it here. It really is coming quite hard against it here. It's quite insane. I think it's a good time to remind us of just I'll just give you a prime. Maybe I should give you guys another interview of Richard Tice where, he tends to talk quite a bit of twaddle as well. Yeah, let's check out this interview from Richard Tice here. I think it went even better for him in this one, if I'm honest.
Richard, how would you describe yourself?
Part of the establishment.
Why did you get into politics?
Money.
If Reform do get elected, how long would you like your first term to be?
Between 200 years and 1,000 years.
Do you have a message for your members?
Do you want to pay an extra £400 or £500?
And who's that money going to?
The British people.
Cool.
Maybe actually the American people.
Okay. What's your climate change policy based on?
Arrogant naivety.
If climate change was James Bond, how would he introduce himself?
Change climate change.
What do you think about recycling?
It's got to stop.
Can I recycle the Reform manifesto?
No, that's absolute garbage.
So you believe that humans have had no impact on climate change?
Always will.
Who are the people who disagree with that?
Experts and scientists and professors.
And who agrees with it?
President Trump.
Right. How much does the hot air that's coming out of your mouth contribute to climate change?
1% of CO2 emissions of the world.
How would you advise I interview someone who's a known liar?
If you ask the right question, you'll get the right answer.
Okay, what was your favourite thing to do at school?
Pylons.
What turns you on?
The power of volcanoes.
What noise do you make when people get something wrong? What part of the job does Nigel find hardest?
To leave the US.
Can you sing any Cher?
Do you believe... Yes, we believe in the countryside.
What do you think of my satire?
It won't make any difference.
It's a bit of fun though, isn't it? Richard. Well, if you want to be like that. I've heard that you like eating poo.
And we...
You just told all my viewers that like eating poo and we, mate.
They know they're being lied to.
What kind of person would make something that's so obviously fake just to drive traffic and engagement to themselves when in reality they have nothing of value to say? Imagine that!
I thought that was a nice one to throw in there, considering we were talking about Richard Tice. So that was literally put up this morning by Will Sabag, minute 4 there. Brilliant, absolute brilliant. There, there. In all the carbon capture projects, either A, is not worked, or B, when peer reviewed it, produced more CO2. Then put underground. Says QA Library. Thanks for that, QA. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. He didn't get his Keaton car crash, sucking up to Putin, says Alistair Kier. Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. Excuse me, I'll just clear my voice a little bit. Giles says Europe has been for about 2 decades now experimenting on self-sustaining cities, and it has worked. And it will become the norm, while idiots like Tice keep acting like hairless Apperman. If my sound is like, if I'm not close to the mic or something, do tell me as well, guys, just in case. We're already evacuating coastal settlements, says Steve McMahon. That's over in New Zealand. Pacific Island nations are preparing to evacuate. Insurance companies are withdrawing from New Zealand because extreme weather events are so common. Well, yeah, for them it's not a commodity for them anymore because they lose too much money from paying out, so there's no incentive for the insurance companies anyway. I'm still amazed at just how gullible so many people are, says number 3. Welcome to 2025. Indeed. And good to see you there as well. They are anti-science. Yeah, they are anti-science, to be fair. Right, an exclusive poll here by Reform UK, guys. Yeah, I know you guys can hear me, but sometimes I might move away from the mic, so I'm not paying attention to my camera sometimes. So Reform UK are seen as stronger and more trustworthy than the Tory Sky News poll suggests. So we talked a little bit about that earlier anyway. Reform UK has made strides in catching up with Brulee Conservative Party in recent months. And now exclusive polling shows the scale of the challenge that Kemi Badenoch is facing against Nigel Farage. So, oh God. Do I need to... I need to take off... I'll have to go off screen for you guys to see this. Right.
Just how much trouble are the Conservatives in? How much potential does Reform UK have? Sky News has new exclusive polling allowing us to take a deep dive. Right, start here. Back 10 years ago, when Nigel Farage led UKIP, remember that? People thought that he was just too toxic to ever become Prime Minister, that there might be a ceiling on his and UKIP support that's lower than the potential pool of Tory voters. But how has that picture changed now he's leading the new party, Reform UK? And there's a clever way to measure all of this, so follow me on this. This bar here is the UK electorate. Now, we asked...
I'll just...
How many people would definitely not vote for Reform?
So this source is from YouGov, and it's just over 2,000 adults participate in this vote, just for reference, guys, as well.
And 56% said that they would definitely not. And here's the thing. That's an almost identical figure to the 55% who said they would definitely not vote Tory. Now, what does that mean? That means that the potential pool of 44% of voters could vote Reform. It's almost the same as the 45% who could vote for the Tories. So it really doesn't seem from all of this that Reform UK have a ceiling any higher or lower than the Tories. Now, I want to compare and contrast a few specifics when putting the Tories side by side with Reform UK. Now, how do voters feel about the two-party brands? Well, look at this. Only 10% see Kemi Badenoch's Tories as strong.
It's because she's shit. We've already established this. We haven't even established it here. We've established it here across many YouTubers have established. Kemi Badenoch is not good enough. She's crap. She's useless. I've covered enough PMQs. We've covered enough interviews. Like, literally, like, talking about having a steak for goddamn lunch. Having an issue with people on their lunch break or whatever. Wanting to take away reform pensions and take people's pensions away and maternity pay and that. Like, the stuff that comes out of her, it's just bollocks. Absolute nonsense. It doesn't resonate with people at all.
61% view them as weak. But what about for reform? Look at this. 31% see them as strong, more than the 27% that see them as weak.
That's interesting. So, that's very interesting there. So, while more people still think Nigel Farage is a strong reform leader, there are, according to this, obviously, and it's from YouGov, some of them still doesn't see it as a very strong leadership party. But if it's not Nigel Farage, then is it the only reason you're backing reform is simply because of immigration? Is that the only reason?
Let's do another one. Now look at this. Only 18% of voters say that they think the Conservatives have a clear sense of purpose under Kemi Badenoch, whereas 59% say they are unclear about what the Tories actually stand for. And now let's put that side by side with reform.
Hold on. Now, how can anyone say that they have a clear understanding of what the Conservatives' goals are when they've only introduced one policy since the general election? One policy.
And 49% say there's a clear sense of purpose from Nigel Farage Reform UK, whereas 24% say they're unclear about what that party stands for.
Now, obviously, the majority will say they understand exactly what reform are when it comes to immigration. If you ask them about the climate change, how many of them will be aware that they are against CO2, against net zero, for example? Excuse me. How many of them will be aware about that? How many of them are aware about Nigel Farage wanting to turn the NHS into a private insurance-based system to take away people's healthcare, have an American-style model? How many of them are aware of that? That's a good question as well. I think that's a very good, because one of the things, when you think of reform, what's the main policy you think of reform when you think about it? It's immigration. There's not really anything else that sticks out when you think about them.
And do voters trust either of the parties? Not very much. It's certainly a resounding no for the Conservatives. 11% say they're trustworthy, 65% untrustworthy.
I'm surprised that's not higher, given the last 14 years, but then we have to remember that there are thickos in the British public, unfortunately. Some really dumb people.
When it comes to Reform UK, 19% trustworthy, 52% untrustworthy.
Well, we know that Reform, just like the Conservatives, are a bunch of liars, so this should not be surprising, really.
Now, it's too early in this Parliament for parties to have much policy. We're judging and seeing voters judging them on vibe. But at the moment, almost every element of the vibe of Reform UK is more attractive to voters than Kemi Badenoch's Conservatives. Challenging times ahead for the Tories.
It will be interesting to see what the local elections will read. That is for sure there. Let's just see if there's anything else to add here. But yeah, we can. Oh, there we go. So you can see there the sources from YouGov, 2,191 adults between the 9th and the 10th of February. So there's the reference there. Strong, weak, and clear sense of purpose. Yeah, see, the thing is that if they were more, they're not for the people who have a clear sense of purpose for Reform UK. They're not aware outside of immigration some of their other things, like national health, like I said about the NHS. Like, what's Reform's policy on housing, for example? What's Reform's policy on crime, knife crime, for example? Outside of immigration, like, what's their policy on education? Like, do we know what their, if you ask a Reform voter, what's Reform's goals when it comes to education? That's the things. Labour ? Obscure says number 3. Well, this was mainly on the Conservatives and Reform UK. This exclusive polling by Sky here. to see if there's anything else to add. Not really from that, but I thought that was a very interesting. But I think kind of all of us know, when you think about Reform and the Conservatives, we kind of know where the situation lies really between them. We know that they're both right wing. People know that the Conservatives, they know because they've been in power for 14 years. So this general consensus of going back to the Conservatives is just not there. Whereas Reform, they're seen as new. They're out, it's like, I know this sounds weird to us because you have to try and picture and understand people who are not into politics. Nigel Farage and Reform UK are seen by some people, whether you agree or disagree with some people. Reform are seen outside the bubble, outside the establishment. That reference gets to people, whether you like it or don't like it. Some people see it like that because they've never been in power, never been in control. Yes, they're MPs now, and they've got 5 MPs now, but that's the perception that Reform have on some swathes of the British public, and especially when people at the moment are not seeing the changes that our Labour are doing. They've not been better off for the last 14 years. They don't trust the Lib Dems, some of them, because they've remembered what the Lib Dems were like back in 2010, because the Lib Dems got into bed with the Conservatives. So they've tasted power. So some members of the British public, some of them who may not pay too much attention to politics, will remember that the Lib Dems were in power. It's not, you can still forget Nick Clegg was Deputy Prime Minister alongside David Cameron. And don't forget that. So, and the problem is obviously the Greens, I think they're not getting their message out there high enough. It's one of their biggest flaws I think they have there. Our education system has failed many people. Major flaws is number 3. Jeannie Bottle says Reform on a UK version of Doge. Mass sackings of civil servants replaced with Russian experts at computing. It's funny you should say that. Do I have that story? I don't have that story here. I've got a similar story, to be fair, but I am aware of that story. Thanks for highlighting that there. Guys, I'm going to take a little break to reignite my voice a little bit. I hope you guys enjoy this funny video. I know we already had a funny video in between there, but I'm going to try and recharge my voice a little bit for a couple of other stories for you guys. But I hope you guys are finding what I'm giving you guys informative and helpful to you. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. I haven't heard this one for some reason, but I hope you guys, some of you guys may or may not have heard this one from Matt Green Comedy on what is Labour's thinking on immigration.
So we know that the 2 really big issues for voters these days is number 1, the economy, number 2, immigration. Right, so how do we fix the economy? Rachel's on it. How's it going? Let's put a pin in that. To see if it's still alive? So it's our job to think about immigration. People are worried. What do we do? Well, we could make the positive case for it and point out that as an ageing population, we really need... No. That's basically telling people that they're wrong to care about it. Well, it's making a positive case. No, you can't make an economic case for immigration. I can. No, I mean you can't and then expect the voters to vote for us. Which voters are we talking about? Well, of course we're talking about hero voters. Hero voters. Yes, those plucky heroes who once voted for us, then voted for the Tories, then changed their mind and voted for us again. But the worry is they might change their mind again. So why are they heroes? Because they don't mind changing their minds. They have no principles. No, they're heroic. They live in marginal seats and they care about immigration. What do we do? I guess we could fix the asylum system, increase house building and improve services so people don't feel under so much pressure. Yeah, we're trying to do all that. But we've also got to look tough on immigration. On immigrants, yes. Because if we don't, then people will vote for reform. So we're focused on people who are thinking about voting reform. Yes, finally you get it. Oh, I see. Well, why don't we just tell people that reform's ideas are simplistic and unworkable, not to mention horrific, and also point out that their big idea of Brexit has just made everything worse? Oh, no, you don't get it. No, none of that. You absolutely can't do any of that. You cannot tell voters they got it wrong. We could campaign on making the electoral system fairer so this one group of voters don't have disproportionate influence. No more referendums, please. Then what do you suggest we do? We explain that reform's ideas are basically fine, they're just a bit extreme, and we'll do them in a more sensible way. So we're a kind of diluted version of reform. Well, no, I wouldn't. Since when has anyone wanted a diluted version of something rather than the full-strength version? I mean, if they're really anti-immigration, won't they just vote for the really anti-immigration people, not just people pretending to be? But we're not pretending. We really believe it. Look at these Facebook adverts we just put out, celebrating all the people we've deported. Is that the same blue that Reform uses? Yes, we're so like Reform, we'll even use their colours. Won't it just make people think it's an advert for Reform? Not if they read it carefully. Does anyone read anything carefully on the internet? Fair point. And look, even if you did manage to persuade a few of the reform-curious people that we're really tough on immigration, won't that just put off loads of our left-leaning voters? Well, they're not heroes. What? And anyway, who are they going to vote for instead? The Lib Dems, the Greens, the SNP, Plaid Cymru? Exactly, they're not serious threats. They don't have a Nigel Farage. I thought you hated Nigel Farage. I do. So why are you copying him? Because if history's taught me anything, it's that the only way to deal with the far right is to copy their policies, pander to their voters, and give them almost exactly what they want, because then they'll be very happy and leave us alone. Where did you study history? Trump University.
Oh, that sounds like the Conservatives in a nutshell there, doesn't it? Oh dear, oh dear. Let's move on, guys. I want to highlight this story. I think this is some good news. Some of you guys may have heard this story already. So the pledge of 2 million extra NHS appointments have been met, the Prime Minister has said. So apparently waiting lists have been going down in the National Healthcare Service, which is fantastic news to hear. Cathal, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. I'm really happy to hear about this. Look, regardless of whatever you feel about the Labour government, I think we're all in agreement that we want to see NHS waiting list goes down. And it seems to have been, the projection seems to be, is going in that way. And it looks like they're saying here, obviously, the pledge of 2 million extra appointments have been met. Obviously, this is good news, and we should treat it as good news. And if it means more lives are saved, if it means more people are able to get their doctor's appointments and whatnot, then I'll be very, very happy. Now, I said at the start of the year, and I said I would wait till the end of the year to see where the NHS is. And I think that's fair, and I still stand by that assessment. And while this is positive news, and we should be positive news, and we should take it as positive news, because obviously it means more lives could be saved, and perhaps maybe a bit more respite for NHS workers, because they need that respite. And as we are slowly coming, over time, we will get out of this winter period and move into the spring. Obviously, it will give a bit more time, and I do say give a bit more time for the NHS to deal with the backlogs, because obviously the winter crisis was quite overwhelming for them, but they still managed to get a grip of it. So, like I said, guys, I'm not going to read all the articles because of my voice, but we'll have a quick gander anyway to short. So, the government has met a key election pledge to deliver 2 million extra NHS appointments in England in its first year, the Prime Minister has said. So, the target was achieved between July and November last year, when there were almost 2.2 million more elective care appointments compared to the same period in 2023, the government says. So that period was affected by doctor strikes, however, which would have suppressed the number of available appointments. As Keir Starmer said, the milestone was a shot in the arm for our plan to get the NHS back on its feet and cut waiting times. And there's a hell of a lot more to do. Yeah. So obviously, getting rid of the doctor strike was the first right call. They dealt with the strikes very quickly. The Tories not dealing with the strikes was absolutely stupid. Look at the size of the overall wait list. It's come down 4 months in a row. That's progress, but still a lot more to do. Yeah, that's very good. 4 months in a row is very good. Delivering an extra 2 million NHS operations, procedures and appointments a year in England was a central Labour manifesto pledge. That was including the list of the first 6 steps it would take in office. The intentional appointments were delivered in part by extra evening and weekend working, the government has said. Elective care covers a broad range of planned non-emergency services, from diagnosis tests and scans to outpatient appointments, surgeries and cancer treatment. There were 31.3 million operations appointments between tests between July and November 2024, compared to 29.1 million over the same period in 2023, during which there were over a dozen days of junior doctor strikes. The figures were up to July 2025, year on from the election, and will be closely scrutinised to see if the trend and the pledge has been borne out. Ministers said the NHS England data showed the manifesto commitment has been met 7 months early. we'll have to wait. Like again, like I'm not jumping on the bandwagon, but like I'm very happy about this, and like Keir Starmer said they could not get complacent. No, the job isn't done. Yep, that's yep. He unveiled plans in January to tackle the backlog. Yep. Let's see if there's anything else. NHS figures shows last week the number of people on the waiting list dropped for the 4th consecutive month. Yep. Estimated 6.24 million patients were waiting for 7.46 million treatments to be carried out by the end of December in England. So down from 6.28 million patients needing 7.8 million treatments in November. So that's really good over the winter period. However, the latest figures show a 73% of A&E patients assessed within 4 hours in England in January, well short of the 95% target. And a key benchmark of A&E performance is accident emergency is a big one. And the number of A&E patients endured long waits went up in January, with 160,000 waiting longer than 4 hours for a bed to be found at a decision to admit them, many on chairs and trolleys. The government's announcement on its election pledge comes in a report by the King's Fund think tank highlight inefficiencies in the NHS system in England. Include a poll of more than 1,600 people who had used the health service in the previous 12 months. 1 in 5 of those surveys said they received a letter for an appointment if after the date was supposed to take place. This is a key thing here. Yeah, Helen Morgan from the Liberal Democrats saying until the government gets a grip on social care, hospitals will remain overwhelmed, backlog, and it's the patients that will pay the price. Yeah, this is what the Lib Dems have been screaming at, and rightfully so. They have been championing quite really well on social care, Lib Dems, and they always comes up and gets highlighted on the Prime Minister's questions by the Lib Dems there. And another thing we've been talking as well, as number 3 pointed out, I still want NHS dentists back. It could be arranged, but it isn't. I still have a filling gap for months now. So I actually I don't know if Daily Blase is ever going to cover it on his channel, but there was a committee hearing last week on NHS dentistry. I don't know how much. I don't know if it was worth. I don't know if there was anything. I don't know if he watched it or not, because he normally covers the committees. But I watched it, and one of the things that were highlighted when they were talking about NHS dentistry was there is no plans to bring it back in. There's no plans at the moment. No plans at all to bring it back into full back to where it was before. Like unfortunately, the plan is they're sticking with privatisation, half privatisation and half NHS dentistry. That's the current plan at the moment, which I'm pissed off about because it's not right that some people may be forced to have to pay in order to get the NHS treatment that they need, dentistry treatment that they need. So yeah, it's still yeah. QA Library says to me, one strike that is still ongoing and greatly affecting the country are the civilian crew due to cuts and no pay rises for 14 years. Royal Navy ships cannot be resupplied at sea. Thanks for that, QA Library. I believe there was a story I covered not too long ago about a potential another strike within civil servants as well. Oh no, not civil servants, workers within number 10. There was a story about within number 10 as well about them going on that. Are you already looking into that, Daily Blazo? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's on BBC Parliament on the YouTube channel. They covered it not too long ago on that. I don't know if you got so many on that, but yeah, I don't know if there'd be anything add on that. But one positive, obviously, like I said, guys, like there's targets being hit by Labour government, and let's say that's good. It's a good thing, regardless of your political differences or whatnot. We want to see people taken care of, and that really does matter. Now, I'm not going to read this article because it's from the Telegraph. But considering it is immigration, I have to bring it up. And this shows you just how completely out of touch reform are, and how much they are using and driving this. And Zoe Garner actually pointed this out on her Twitter feed. So it's thanks to her that I actually spotted this. So this is from The Telegraph, Rupert Lowe, an opinion piece from him. There's only one way to stop illegal immigration. Scrap the asylum system. The cost of the Channel crossing is a slap in the face of the British people. Politicians must get tough or get out of the way. Does he not understand how it works? You can't scrap the asylum system. If you scrap the asylum system, what are you supposed to do when people turn up on your on the shores, coming across on boats, whether it's on trucks, however they come, illegally? It's not illegally. It's not illegally. Let's stop using the word illegally. It's not the right word. Turning up on the UK, claiming that asylum, without any paperwork, without any documentation, without anything, wanting to make a home for themselves in the UK. What are you supposed to do? Because here's the thing: if you don't have an asylum system, how are you supposed to process them? How are you supposed to find out who they are? How are you supposed to deport them? Rupert Lowe has no idea about immigration, about the system and the way it works. And it's just absolute pure fucking madness to even scrap the asylum system. And it's immoral. It's just pure immoral. And all the problems that are taking place in the UK are not based on immigration. The perception that many of the British public have is they've been perceived to believe that all their problems lie around immigration. And it will continue to have that perception, unfortunately. But this is just absolutely insane. Should I even read this bit, guys? Do I even need to read this bit? Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Again and again, the Home Office denies paying for taxes, private healthcare, rich, because it's all subcontract out. Oh my God, this moron. 605. Yeah, is this guy serious? No. We need to get a grip on this. This means detaining and deporting not just all those who arrive illegally, but also those living in our communities who have no right to be in the UK. In debate with a human rights a lawyer, another profession pork barreling a living, I was told that a scheme on the scale required would need a flight leaving every hour. That's just, oh my God. This guy is just, yeah, just. Dear oh dear. Yeah, it says, yeah, I'm not even going to read it. Obviously, it's not worth my time. It's not worth your time on that, guys. But yeah, I wanted to put that headline out there for you guys who haven't seen it already, because I just think it's absolutely insane that he's even suggesting such a thing. Oh no, not that old chestnut again. Yeah, that chestnut. I can't only comment on this guy. Yeah, well, I mean, he can't even get normal procedures in the House of Commons. And actually, speaking of Rupert Lowe as well, actually, I think it was today. Yeah, today, Daily Blase put a video up on, they're having a debate about border control. I think it was debate today. No, you put the video up today, Daily Blase have. And in the House of Commons, they are having a debate about the border command bill by the Labour government on immigration. And again, none of the Reform MPs were there. So when they say they care about immigration, why are they not there in the House in the most important topic that they talk about all the goddamn time? And they're not even there to talk about it. Just tells you everything you need to know about these suckers. It really, really, really is. It's absolutely insane, guys. Should I show these two clips? I'll show these two clips. I did have some stuff on. I did have one or two clips on Ukraine and what's happening, obviously, with that. I'm probably going to save that till Wednesday, because there will be a lot to talk about on Wednesday. I will plan to do a live stream on Wednesday. But what I'll do before we head out before we wrap up. I wanted to cover this video to show just how pathetic. Some of you guys may have seen this, some of you may have not, but it did go viral. It was a couple of days ago, but I wanted to share this if you guys missed this. So I can't believe we have this, just once again reinforcing why you cannot take Reform UK seriously. The fact that you are getting owned as a right-winger, a far one of that, getting owned by another right-winger on a right-wing YouTube channel, on a network, if you want to call them that, is pretty darn embarrassing. And it shows just how lacking in intelligence that Richard Tice has here.
It's Russia that's killing people. If Russia stopped fighting, if Russia wanted to end the war, if Russia stopped fighting, Russia could just stop fighting. There wouldn't be a war. No one would be killed.
And that would be
hey,
great.
our job done.
Yeah,
well, why doesn't the West say that to Russia?
Ultimately, maybe that's what the negotiations
Which part of Britain would you give away if we were invaded and you wanted to negotiate peace?
None at all.
Oh, so we wouldn't give away any of Britain. But it's okay to give away a bit of Ukraine.
Hang on, it's not us giving it away, Julia. Right? It's Ukraine, and Ukraine
doesn't want to give it away.
Of course it does.
Yeah, that's right. Of course they don't want to give it away. It's their fucking land. How fucking obvious do you need to be? Oh, so if we got invaded, we would have to subject ourselves to a lot of land. No, it's not like that. It's different with Ukraine. No, what's the difference? There's no fucking difference here. There is no difference. Okay? There is no difference. There is no difference.
It doesn't. But ultimately, as everybody said, it is Zelensky's decision. But ultimately, we've got to stop killing people.
If we were invaded and our close allies in NATO, like the United States, basically supported us for a bit, they gave us just enough support so we could actually not lose, but we'd not enough to win. Yeah. And after 3 years, whoever was president of the United States said,
which to try and negotiate a solution.
So at which point Donald Trump, whoever, no, let me finish, says, oh, well, we're going to have a negotiation, but we're going to let the Russians, whoever invaded us, keep our territory. Just to clarify, just how much of British territory would you be willing to give away in those negotiations?
Ultimately, in Northern Ireland, there was a negotiation to stop the killing. It involved horrendous compromises that lots of people didn't want to make.
Give away territory.
We stopped.
Julia Hart just smacked him down right there. You can compare it to what happened in Ireland. Give Clacton to Russia? No, that's not fair on the people of Clacton. Steve, you have to remember, not everyone in Clacton voted for Nigel Farage. Now. Let's not be too hasty on the people of Clacton. Oh, dear.
Stop killing people.
We didn't give away territory.
That's also
We didn't give away territory to invade wars. That's a ridiculous analogy.
No, it's a completely valid analogy. Wars.
Sorry, who invaded Northern Ireland?
Wars stop when people stop killing people.
No, wars stop. Wars stop when one side is defeated.
As someone who has played military games, command and strategy video games like Command and Conquer, I understand that premise. And then when I've defeated the enemy, it's victory, or if I lose, it's all my things I've lost. I don't think Richard Tice understands this.
Sorry, have you heard of the Second World War?
Yes.
Did we negotiate?
I just love how Julia is just ripping. I mean, I know I hate Julia too, guys, but I just love how she's just terrorising Richard Tice here.
The ending of the Second World War.
There are lots of other wars where ultimately people negotiate a peace. Otherwise, you just carry on. How long are we going to carry on with this?
Falklands.
Yeah, Falklands we won.
Oh, yeah. Well, we didn't just negotiate with Argentina and give them some of the Falklands.
Yeah,
Why not? Why not? That would have stopped the war, Richard. Why not?
Look, ultimately, we won that war. But there are other wars where it's a negotiated settlement.
Because it's not our problem. Except it will be our problem when Vladimir Putin thinks he can take any territory of any country in Europe that he darn well pleases.
And that's why the negotiation is about what is the strength of what is put in place to stop him going any further. That's why I've always said...
What's going to stop him going any further? We've just said you can take Creme here, you can take the Donbass.
That's the whole point of the negotiation.
For all the things that we have a problem with Julia, she knows what's going to happen. She sees, like the rest of us, she sees what's coming down the road. She sees what Russia what Putin are going to do if they get things their way. She knows what's going to happen. No worries, Jeannie Bolt. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate it. She sees what's going to happen. And just because we are on an island, just because we are not literally on the doorstep of Russia, does not mean that Russia can't eventually be on our doorstep. Doesn't mean that Russia couldn't turn up on our shores. Doesn't mean that we can't get invaded. Like, let's be very clear about this. Just because of where we're situated geography-wise, doesn't mean that Russia can't get to us. Because they can get to us if they really wanted to. Yeah, and it would be folly to not take that seriously.
Is Ukraine going to join NATO and therefore benefit from the Article 4? Well, that's the point of the negotiation.
Well, there's no negotiation, is it? Is there? There's no negotiation. The Secretary of State
clearly don't understand how President Trump works. He starts out in one position. That doesn't mean that's where he settles. The whole point of a negotiation, you set out positions and then you work out where you're going to finish.
You know what you don't do in a negotiation? You set out a position where you've given the other side everything that they want.
And that's not what I suspect.
It's literally what they've done in the last 24 hours.
I completely disagree.
I just thought Reform cared about national borders.
We do absolutely care about national borders and sovereignty. All of them. Okay. But equally, we don't want to carry on killing people. We're not killing people. But ultimately, somehow, the war has got to stop. It's gone on for 3 years. How long do we keep it going? A decade? 2 decades?
How long would you fight for this country?
Until I'm dead.
Well, exactly. That's what Ukrainian people...
Like, if you are so passionate about your country, if you care so much about your country, or wherever you are from, if you are that patriotic, which he claims to be, then you will be out there dying to your dying breath. I mean,
ideally do if they were given support.
But
that war could have been won a long time ago if we'd given support.
Yeah, but there are lots of Ukrainian people who would like to find a way to end this war, including the president.
Let's not use up all our time on this. I'm disappointed in
I'm not disappointed at all. I'm trying to explore ways to stop killing people.
Now, I agree with Richard Tice that I want to stop people dying. But I also don't agree that it's not right that Ukraine should have to secede territory. But I also understand the implementations of what is happening. But we will discuss more of this on Wednesday, guys. I wanted to end with this one. I know some of you guys have seen this already, but I want to remind... But I know this is quite old, but I really wanted to share this for those who haven't seen this, because this is a great... If you want a way to expose Nigel Farage to people who love Nigel Farage, this is one of the best ways to do so. Now, this was by the Trade Union Congress on the 10th of February. We revealed to Nigel Farage's voting records to his constituents in Clacton, and they weren't happy. This here, before I even play this, this is how you hurt Reform. This is how you hurt them. If you show them the things that they are doing, if you can show them, then it really puts their question and their loyalty to Reform. What they did here was absolutely brilliant. And if you replicate this, if you can replicate what they done here across all, not just the constituencies that the that Reform hold, but ones where they're like coming close second place in some places. Like, if you can replicate what they did here, you can destroy the image of the Reform UK party, or company, not party, despite whatever the media, no matter how much the media tries to hold them up. Because at the end of the day, it's always about people actually voting as well. Phil McCracken, good to see you there. Hope you're doing well, buddy. If stopping people dying means in losing territory to invader, then no Ukrainian would agree. I understand that, Phil. You know, I've been my position on that has been for a long time that they should not have to cede territory and they should give back Crimea. That's always been my position. But a part of me also feels like so many people. I generally want the bloodshed to stop. But like ultimately, it's down to Ukraine what they want to do, and if they want to keep fighting, they should be allowed to keep fighting at the end of the day. But yeah, but we'll talk about it on Wednesday night. But it's good to see you, buddy.
Nigel? No.
Really?
I'll have a word with him. I'm here in Clacton to see what Nigel Farage's constituency has to say about current employment practices. Do you think that companies should be allowed to sack you unless you agree to worse pay and worse conditions?
No.
No.
No, they should not be able to do that.
Do you think that if you're working for a company for less than 2 years,
Right.
they have the right to dismiss you without any good reason?
No.
No.
Well, how can they sack you if they ain't got a good reason?
Of course not.
Okay, so next one. Do you think that company should be able to decide the hours you work based on what suits them?
No.
No.
It's just happened to me. Hours cut down.
It's another no.
It's another no. Okay, final question. Do you think that if you are sick, that you should go without pay for 3 days?
No, you should be paid, shouldn't you?
No, it's out of order because you can't control being sick.
No, that's not fair.
But there is some good news. So there is a bill proposed in Parliament right now that is to get rid of all these bad practices.
That'd be good.
Any idea someone who voted against the bill?
Business people, obviously.
The employer.
Company owners.
Shall I give you a clue? Your MP.
Nigel? No.
Really?
Your MP.
Oh.
That is a surprise, big surprise.
I did think he was more for the people and more for human rights than that.
Are you surprised?
I am really surprised because I thought he was working for the public.
Next time he brings his tack around and waving at people, I'll just say to him, hang on a minute, mate, I want to speak to you.
This was very, very good. Dear. This is definitely the way to hurt him. This is definitely the way to hurt him. That is for sure. So, guys, I want to say before I die of cough. Thank you guys all for coming along. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for all your comments. Obviously, if my voice was 100%, I would spend more time reading all your comments and I would be reading all the articles. But as you guys know, I'm not 100%. And I managed to get through it. So we managed to get through the live stream, guys. I am undecided whether I will live stream tomorrow or not. I'll see how I feel tomorrow. So it's a maybe. So if I do live stream, it'll be at 6 o'clock with the Snowflake Corner. And it'll be specifically on Trump and the Ukraine and whatnot. That'll be it. But we will see how it goes. You're getting buffering, Leapskin. No one else is. I have to see if anyone else is. We're coming to the end of the show anyway. But thank you guys all for coming along. Thank you guys for all your support. I really appreciate it. Especially that I've been out for so long. Those short videos were a pain in the arse to doing. For the last week, they were a nightmare to do. They were an absolute nightmare to do, guys. Those short videos, but I wanted to at least get the information out there to you. So they will be keep going anyway. I will definitely live stream at 8 on Wednesday for sure. Whether I will live stream tomorrow or not is another matter. I may or may not try to record a video tomorrow just to see how I do. But it's a week of we'll see how things go sort of thing. There'll be no content on Rumble. There'll be no content on Patreon apart from the paid content, which paid members get as well. But thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. But I've got one more video before you guys go. One more video. It's a Valentine's one. Of course it's a Valentine's one. Because we missed out on Valentine's, and it's a real shame that I didn't give you guys a Valentine's video that's worthy of you guys. That is worthy of you guys. And what better one than Garen? Take it away, my friend.
Irish men romantic? Fuck no. These are vicious rumours being spread. Are Irish men romantic? Fuck no. These are vicious rumours being spread by Hollywood to put work on the common Irish man. We don't want to have to live up to Paul Mescal going around saying fucking poems with his nice body. You won't find any of that in this country. He doesn't even understand what he's saying. He's just reading it for money, which I've got nothing but respect for. We are not the French. Thank God. I've been to France. They don't even want to fucking be themselves. I'll give you an example of an Irishman. Last year, a friend of mine bought his girlfriend a lovely Valentine's Day card. And in the middle of the Valentine's card, it said, in a beautiful font, Happy Valentine's Day. So he didn't write anything else in the card. He felt that was everything that needed to be said. If an Irishman really loves you, he's just going to start asking if you're hungry, because he wants to get a dinner into you. I don't care about if people are hungry unless I'm in love with them. I mean, I don't want them to starve, but I'm not going to fucking pay to feed them. Happy Valentine's and follow me, I'm delicious.
Oh, I love that, man. Oh, guys. So have a great week, guys. Take care as always, and I'll try and lurk on around the other live streams whenever I possibly can. But I appreciate all your support. Thank you, Alistair Keir, for the gifted memberships as well today. I really appreciate that. Considering I haven't had anything all last week apart from Prime Minister's questions, which I really appreciate as well. But yeah, guys, take care. Have a great week, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.